friends, I'm Frida, and today I'm going to talk about the parts of the clarinet along with how to put it together. Now, a couple things to note before we dive right in is that first of all, if you're looking for information about the setup of the clarinet, including the reeds, the mouthpiece, and the ligature, that is not going to be the focus today. That is going to be in part 2 of the clarinet method series. The second thing to note is that I hope that this video is helpful for beginners or people picking the clarinet back up, but it's also here for people who are trying to teach the clarinet a little bit better. So I'm going to have some educational tips and tricks thrown in throughout the video. So with that, let's dive right in. So the parts of the clarinet are as follows. First of all is the upper section or the upper joint. Those two names are interchangeable. The front looks like this, the back looks like this, and this key right here is called the register key, which is a really important key for us to remember throughout this whole process. Next part we're going to look at is the lower section or lower joint. Those names are also interchangeable. The front looks like this, and the back has the thumb rest on it. The next two parts are really easily visually identifiable by their shapes. The first is the bell. It looks like a little bell. You could ring it if you wanted to and it had something inside of it. And then here's the barrel, which is very cylindrical, like a barrel in real life. And the very last part that we're going to look at, but not really discuss at length, is the mouthpiece, which has a curved back and a flat front. So you can see this shape better from the side. It's very curved and very flat. So before I start putting the clarinet together for real, I want to talk about another super important thing in this case, which is cork grease. Every clarinetist should have a tube of this. Educators, make sure every one of your clarinetists has a tube of this when they get their instrument, and make sure they have a tube of this throughout their time playing the clarinet. Check with your kids, make sure they have it, because so many clarinet issues are caused by your corks not being greased. Before you put your clarinet together, I've done this to mine recently, make sure there is a thin layer of cork grease on all the corks. You shouldn't be able to see big globs of white stuff, but there should be just a thin layer to make sure all the corks just move smoothly and you don't have to force anything. So now to putting the instrument together, what we're all excited for. The first piece you're going to need is your upper section. When you're putting the upper section together, there's a couple things that you want to make sure you do. The first is to not grab by these side keys. You never want to grip your clarinet like this. I'm not gripping it hard like this, but just don't do it. And the second thing you're going to want to do is, if you see right here, this is part of the bridge key. The other part is on the lower section. This is the most commonly broken part of a clarinet. Especially with younger kids, they're going to bend it, they're going to break it if you're not careful with how you teach them how to put it together. So what you need to do when you're putting the upper and lower sections together is just have one of your fingers pressing this key. So I usually like to grip it with my left hand, just wrap it around, and be pressing this key. Next piece you're going to grab is your lower section. And with that key pressed on your upper section, just slide the two together. Give it a little twist if you need to, if it's not quite lined up. And to make sure it's lined up, you're going to want to look at that bridge key. If you can see from this angle, my bridge key is lined up between the two sections. That means that if I hit a key on the bottom, the ones on the top move too, and you can see that here. From here on out, it's a lot easier than that. The next piece you're going to need is the bell. And the bell goes onto the lower section. If they're nice and greased, you should be able to just push them together, maybe give it a little twist. Your bell may have a logo on it. Mine has worn off. It's really hard to see. That logo does not need to be lined up. I like it to be lined up. I just think it looks nice, but the bell is identical all the way around, and you don't need to worry about that. Next piece is the barrel. It has that same thing. It has a logo. You don't need to line that logo up with the other logos. It goes onto the upper section, and you just push it on or twist it on. Try not to twist too much. You can give it a little bit of a twist if you need to, but just give it a nice push. If you feel like you're pushing too hard, you need more cork grease. Then the last slightly complicated part of the clarinet setup is the mouthpiece. Remember how it has a flat side? That flat side should be lined up with your register key. So when you put the two together, you should be able to draw a straight line from the mouthpiece to the register key. Once that straight line's drawn, you can just push down, and there you go. You have a clarinet that's all put together. And it looks great, and you're ready to play. Except for the mouthpiece, which doesn't have a ligature or reeds, but we will talk about that next time. I hope you're excited to play the clarinet. Thank you for letting me talk, and I will hopefully see you next time.